Welcome to Mitten Kitchen. I'm Amy, and today we are making calzones with my sourdough starter. Now this video is a little different. I was super busy this day and I did not have time to have a full-on cooking show, so you are getting a voiceover the day, afterwards. So essentially, to make this calzone dough is you need your starter and some olive oil. I swear this dough came together so easily. I've made it now, I think 2 more times. You're gonna add in some salt and it just comes together so beautifully. You could use it as pizza dough, you could use it as calzone dough, stromboli. There's so many options, right? You're gonna add in some water and you can see here how all the flavors are coming together quite quickly. Now, one of the versions of the calzones, I actually added in some roasted garlic seasoning at this point, and it was so good too. We made them out on a wood-fired grill and they were fantastic. So you're gonna go ahead and give it a good stir. Lots to do here. At this point, I love the smell of the sourdough starter. So if you're a big sourdough fan, this is going to be one of your favorite parts too. Right before you add in the flour, there's just such an aroma of the sour flavor in your starter coming together. I'm going to go ahead and add in the flour. I will make sure I tag the recipe that inspired this, which will have out the exact measurements. Now this is quite a workout. I always love this part of the sourdough process, is getting all of the different ingredients mixed in together. This is a really good sort of mixing tool. My husband got it for our anniversary, and it really comes together versus using just your hands. It's a really good start for mixing. After that, we're gonna go ahead and get it out on the counter and get it kneaded. Now, this is where the recipe indicated that you actually are gonna wanna knead in the flour. So you can see how the dough is still pretty sticky. That is because the actual process of kneading is where we're gonna go ahead and continue to add in some of that flour. You can see I made quite the mess here. I swear, using flour is something that's pretty new to me, coming up on 2 years as a sourdough journey, and I love it. It's so relaxing to me. It's something where I can really be patient, and honestly, sourdough and gardening I've noticed are really good for my mental health, and it's just been something very important. I think it's just seeing something come together from nothing, and it's something beautiful that you can feed your family. It's just quite lovely. So you can see here I'm really kneading in the flour, the additional flour at this point. Kneading is something that I've just recently started enjoying. I never really understood that process, but I was watching a video, I think, or reading, and they said it's very rare that you're gonna over knead something, because I think I was always scared. Everyone's like, don't over knead, don't over knead. And I finally just went for it. I was like, she's so right. Like, I'm not gonna over knead something. And so here you can see me just really enjoying that process of kneading, getting that into a ball shape for it to rise. Today we were going to a strawberry patch. Very exciting to have some upcoming videos for strawberry picking and strawberry jam. And so this was me getting the dough ready before we left for our adventure that day. Now you're gonna go ahead and add it into an oiled bowl. I just used that same bowl. There's no need to dirty another bowl. That is always my theory. And you're just gonna add some olive oil on top. That makes sure it doesn't dry out, and it creates a really beautiful pizza calzone dough. Add on my bowl cover. I love these bowl covers. I highly recommend them. They're really great. Then this was afterwards. This was after our strawberry adventures. The dough is ready. It is beautiful. Look at that, how much it rose. It was quite a lovely, lovely day that day. So we got out in the fields for strawberry picking, and the calzone dough was working while we were away. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and start getting the calzone shaped out. And so For this one, like I said, I've made this a couple times now. I actually measure the balls so they're all fairly the same size. This one I kind of was like just eyeing it. And that's fine. Like, you don't have, this isn't rocket science, right? But it was nice to get the balls weighed out because then I knew they're all going to be the same size. Lately, I've been using about like 150 grams of dough. So my son was not interested in calzones. He said, no way, which I was, whatever. It was a nice day. So he wanted pizza, and I have these cute little tiny cast irons, perfect for personal size pizzas for him. And I just made 2 for him. So that is me just forming the dough into the little cast irons so that they can become little personal pizzas. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind too. This is a very versatile, sort of recipe and process. It's very hands-off. You're creating a beautiful meal for your family. Right here is me shredding up the mozzarella. I like to do this process. This is something new as well. I think, for the kids that grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, everything came packaged, right? And I'm really on this journey of refillery and less plastic and things like that. And so I'm getting there. And so shredding my own also is part of that. This is just me adding in some Parmesan cheese because I thought, why not? Wouldn't that be delicious to have some Parmesan in addition to the mozzarella in our cheese? I thought peppers would be really good. You can see there my bulk canning cookbook. I was researching some strawberry processes for all the strawberries that I had bought that day or had picked that day with my family. So I thought orange bell peppers would be a really pretty color to add in to the calzones. You can add any pepper you want or any toppings. If you like mushrooms, if you like meat, go ahead. I just thought this would be a fun flavor. In addition, I'm slicing very thinly some onion. Now, I was using a tomato sauce. I'm actually all out of my tomato sauces for canning. This year, I'm going to try to make my own Raos. Like, that is my goal. I'm like researching all the recipes. I'm going to try to make it because I love this flavor of tomato sauce, pasta sauce. So that is my goal, and it can be versatile. I don't use pizza sauce versus pasta sauce. To me, it's the same thing. So just adding in the sauce for my son's pizza, some cheese, and they're ready to go. It's that easy for the personal pizzas. Now, I will say upcoming, again, this is my first time making calzones, and it was definitely a learning curve of how to shape them. I've made them 3 times now, and I definitely have a better process down. You can see here that they look good, right? They look good from a shape, but you still gotta fold it together. And so I definitely feel like at this point, I was like, oh, how are you gonna fit all these toppings in and also fold them over? And so my 3rd time, I would say, has been pretty good, where I've realized, okay, you put this, items on one side and then fold it. Whereas here you can see I kind of put it in the middle, and then it makes the dough really sticky. The dough was thin, a little too thin, I would say, in certain areas. So it's getting that process down that was quite the adventure for me over the last times I've made this. But I think it's important to show the reality of the kitchen, especially trying something new. You don't always get it right, and that's okay. That's part of learning, and I have told you all on this channel that is what I'm doing here. I am learning. I've always enjoyed the kitchen. It's something that brings me a lot of joy, but I am no expert in any way. And in order for me to learn, I gotta just put myself out there and try something new. And so this was me trying something new. It's me learning. And like I said, by number 3, you can see this one's kind of a funky shape, right? But trying this 3 times, I am getting it, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm sure by number 4, I'll feel even more confident. And that's how it goes in the kitchen, is you just keep trying new things. And if you don't like something, then you don't have to keep doing it, right? But it's important that you try, and that's one of my favorite things. So I have quite a bit of dough here. It was really nice because then I was able to put some in the freezer, and let me tell you, they were a hit. And so that really inspired me to also add that to my freezer rotation for sourdough products. As mentioned in other videos, I like to have sourdough English muffins in my freezer. I also like to have sourdough bagels in my freezer, and now I'm like, this is gonna be another staple because those late nights, or you're just really tired and you don't want to cook, this is so helpful. And so that was really nice to have in our freezer when life just got a little crazy and I just didn't want to cook, right? And so instead of ordering, like very rarely do we order out, like usually we'll go out to like a nice restaurant. That's like more of our preference for like going out to eat. And so this was really nice to have in the freezer. And so the third time I made this recipe, I actually made like 16 of them to go in the freezer, and that was like so nice. It actually came together really nicely, and so I hope this inspires you, like to just take some time, make these beautiful things, pop them in the freezer, and you know, the next time you want to order pizza, you have your calzones in the freezer. There's nothing wrong with ordering pizza at all, but to me, I'm really on this journey of knowing like what's in my food, where's it coming from, that sort of stuff. And this helps when you're craving those pizza slices. You can know what it comes from. Now, I don't see why you couldn't do stromboli in this way. My concern was getting soggy from the sauce, and so that's where I add the sauce, you know, as calzones later. So just keep that in mind. You, I'm sure, can do that if that is interesting to you. My husband joined me. He wanted to pop in and make some of these were like pizza bombs I was making, so I had some extra sauce. Now, getting these out of the oven, it was so fun to see them come together. Again, this is my first time. It was so exciting and new, and I just loved it. And so I made all of these delicious calzones and pizza bombs, and look at them. They look beautiful. They were so flavorful, and I tell you, I love my sourdough starter for how versatile it is. You don't have to just make a loaf of bread. You can make these kind of products, and it was so good. I gave it a taste test. I was so surprised. I was so proud of myself for trying something new, going out of my comfort zone, and just learning through the journey. But it was so good. I was like, oh my gosh, let's try it with the Rayos. And I tell you, I was like blown away at how good that was. I was like, whoa, this is amazing, yummy. But thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. I will see you next time, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye, everyone.